We are back and better than ever. Mark's ready to break down the pitcher. He's not taking any high throws to the head.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not going to get knocked out today. Anyway, like we were saying, the GTS 2009 awards, the first ever one. And here's how it's going to work, guys. We're going to let you make the decision this time. We're not going to have any opinions on. We're going to have opinions, but we're going to let y'all make the picks on our poll on the site. That poll's going to be up later on tonight. So go on there, and it's all up to you who's going to be the top baseball pitcher in the Lakelands. First off, Mark, we got some nominees that we've broken down. We broke down all the stats, and these are the top 6 pitchers that we think are in the Lakelands. And these are the top ones that are going to be up on the site that y'all are going to get to vote on. Let's start with the Greenwood Eagles. You got some stats, Mark, and I guess you got some thoughts on each one of those pitchers. First, starting with none other than Christian Boo Powell, one of the top players in the Lakelands. But we're going to look at him as a pitcher. Yep. And how did he do this season?
Pitching on my stat sheet right here, I got Powell with a 3-4 record, 4.67 ERA, 27 walks, and an impressive 63 strikeouts. That's big time for him. With Nathan Bridges, he had a winning record, 4-1, 3.13 ERA, 21 strikeouts, and 29 walks. And take into consideration this is 4A baseball in a tough conference.
All right, so let's go ahead and break those two down then. Who would you take out of 2 of those if you had to make a choice?
Oh, a lot of factors go into that. You're looking at Powell, who probably threw against the toughest teams in the region. He's your ace. And with that impressive 63 strikeouts. And then you look at Bridges, who probably threw against some of your non-region teams, maybe some of your weaker teams in the region, and come up with a 4-1 record. So, I like Powell's 63 strikeouts, but I like the record that Bridges brought, 4-1.
So you're going to go with Bridges on that because of his record? And
did I say that?
Oh, did you say Bridges?
I was giving suggestions.
Oh, you're going to give suggestions right now.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion out there you want to throw out to the folks? Maybe, possibly?
Maybe look at Bridges.
Maybe look at Bridges, okay. We'll go with that then. I'll probably go with Christian Powell on this one, like you're saying. I'm just making an opinion. Like I said, you can go on the site and choose who it's going to be. But Powell did have 63 strikeouts. That's hard to that's hard to overlook. And plus, he was doing it against some of the toughest competition in 4A. So I'm gonna probably swing over the Powell side a little bit more than Bridges.
We'll see if Powell can hang on during the post-20 American Legion season and continue that.
That's very true. We also have 2 pitchers from the Emerald Vikings. Mark, I got Derek Moore here. He had a 4-0 record with a 1.46 ERA. That's ridiculous. He had 35 total strikeouts for the season, only 13 walks, and he also went 38 innings pitched. I only gave up 1 home run on the season, so that's pretty impressive. But moving over, we also had John Woolston, another senior, made 9 appearances, had a 3.13 ERA, also struck out 38, only walked 16. Went 47 innings pitched, so he pitched a little bit more than Moore. When you're looking at those two, kind of break them down.
Yeah, well now you're going from 4A to 2A baseball. A little bit weaker, but still, baseball's baseball. You got a job to do on the mound. Looking at Moore with 4-0, I think I put him in the same category that we had Bridges in, where he's throwing against non-region, like Strom Thurmond, Saluda Tigers, and they threw him in there with Crescent, and then also against a weak Eau Claire team in the playoffs. But still went 4-0. And then you got Woolston, who was Emerald's ace, and of course they saved him for their big games that they needed wins on, and they put him against the toughest competition in their region in 2A. He ended up with a 3-4 losing record, but still he had 3 wins against the toughest teams in that 2A region, Skyline region. So you got to look at the ERA factor on that one with Moore with 1.46, and had just about the same amount of strikeouts as Woolston did. So I think I'm going to tip my hat to Moore on that one with his 4-0 winning record.
Yeah, you also got to look at it though, Mark. The run support with Moore, for if you total up all the scores for the games they played this season, the games they appeared in, Woolston only got 33 runs of support while Moore got 52. That is very ridiculous. I can't believe that Moore actually got that much run support, but he did have a 1.46 ERA. So that's still saying something. The pendulum for me is going to swing to Moore, so he makes it through this round. So I'm down. I'm with Powell. I'm sticking with Powell. And I'm sticking with Moore. Those are my opinions. Like I said, if you want to, see who's going to be the top pitcher out there on the site, make your prediction on there. Moving on, the 96 Wildcats had one of the best seasons in the Lakelands. Had a strong start to the season. Were undefeated. Mikey Clark, that's the one pitcher we're going to be looking at because he stood above all the rest. Okay, this guy went 8-1, had a 0.85 ERA, 49 innings pitched, also struck out 45. Mark, am I leaving out any stats that were kind of important in there?
Only 16 walks in that whole season. Out of 8 or 9 games, 16 walks. And you're looking at Clark in 1A baseball. And not to say anything about 96's region, but it's not quite as strong as, the 2A and 4A, even though they did beat some 2A teams this year. They've been in 2A in the past. And Mikey Clark is my surprise pitcher of the year. Not expecting him to he's a great pitcher, but not expecting him to be up there with Slack and Prater and that group. But starting out beating Emerald, I think he surprised the coaching staff, and he must have worked hard in the offseason because he showed it with an 8-1 record this year.
Yeah, and Mikey Clark, 8-1, I think that says it all for him. Even though he did get kind of rocked in his only loss on the season, it was a huge game in the playoffs. I kind of look when I look at Clark and the 96 Wildcats. The strength of their region really wasn't, was kind of weak. And he got a ton of run support. A lot of times when he was pitching, he would get a score of maybe 13 runs in one game. That's just ridiculous.
Not hard to win like that.
Yeah, and like you said, he probably, out of all the pitchers that we're going to talk about here, probably came from the weakest region, if I had to say. But you can't argue with 8-1 and under 1 run ERA. Moving on, the last pitcher we're going to talk about is Randall from Abbeville. Mark, when you're looking at him, the reason I think we're going to look at him because he had a 3-2 record in the Skyline region, a pretty tough region.
Yeah, he had a 3-2 record on that in that Skyline region, and he was the only pitcher with a winning record from Abbeville, and he's only a sophomore. So, good job of him, 3-2. We have no other stats on him, but he had a winning record at 3-2 in that Skyline region, which was good for him. Yeah,
and shout out to Randall and Abbeville, and he's only a sophomore, so I mean he's going to come back for 2 more seasons, and he's going to keep building it up. So right now, those are our nominees, and those are the ones you get to choose from. But those aren't the only ones. You can also give in some write-in votes. Give us your opinion on who we might be missing out there on the sports vent, the GwdToday sports vent. We got Patrick Moore wearing the crown right now. Production trying to make us laugh a little bit. Anyway, we're going to keep it moving. Wow.
That's nice.
That is wild.
2 people I'd like to mention pitching-wise before we move on and keep laughing here at Moore Media Man back there. Prater with a 4-1 record. Also, Ryan Slack with a 4-1 record this year. So.
And like I said, you can write those names in. If you feel that they should be in there, write them in. Keep writing them in, and they'll build up their votes, and they could be the top baseball pitcher in the Lakelands for this year.
Yeah, Dixie, McCormick, somebody else has got somebody to throw in. Salute them. Let us know. We're going off stats of what we've seen and what we reported on and what the coaches have given us.
Yeah, and I think there was also a guy from Ware Shoals named Culberson. He had a decent season, but we don't have any stats on him, so we really can't make a educated guess on him.
Right.
So those are nominees, and I'm gonna give my opinion right now. I think that Mikey Clark should take this. I mean, he had the best win total out of all of them, the best ERA out of all of them. Even though he came from the weakest region, I think he should still win it.
Yeah, weakest region or not, you still a pitcher and a batter, and you got a job to do. And 8-1 shows a good job.
Yeah, and like you said, he was your biggest surprise on the season. So I mean, not much was expected of him coming into the year.